I want to share something with you today that has been really helpful for me on my spiritual journey. Not just my spiritual journey, but as a human being, it's been really helpful in terms of enjoying my inner world and relating to people in a better way. And that is using the principle of running my thoughts before I speak, or even commit to the thought, through 3 checkpoints. Is it true? Is it helpful? And is it beautiful? Admittedly, this is a tall order, and I've failed a lot at doing this. In my early 20s, I was lucky enough to get sober, to choose sobriety, to be given the opportunity by God to live a sober life. And through that process, I went to AA and integrated there very closely. And I took up a sponsor, and she was my mentor. And I often call her my spiritual mentor. And she was the first one to introduce me to these 3 concepts of thought and speech regulation. And it was kind of a firm assignment from her to me from the beginning, to run all of my thoughts before I spoke through these 3 checkpoints. Is it true? Is it helpful? And is it beautiful? And this was really helpful for me as I was trying to adjust to sober life, because little did I know then, but I understand now, that sober life looks much different. I've shared with you that I came into adulthood with a lot of trauma. And someone who is operating from a traumatized system often has behaviors, just habits, ways of being that are the exact opposite of these 3 checkpoints: truth, service, and beauty. Because when we have only been able to operate from a place of trauma, essentially there's a lot of hiding and lying that's required to keep ourselves safe. So that eliminates truth. We are often in survival mode, which means the thought of being helpful is not really a luxury afforded to that mind. And then, of course, language can really get very ugly. Just the way we communicate. Of course, there's not much consideration for how beautiful it is what we say. And so now at 41, I am really... my heart has been turned on to study Christianity, and it's been really, really helpful. So at 41, this is the first year I've ever observed Lent. And it's not that I don't understand the principle of self-regulating through abstinence or discipline. I've lived a really wonderful series of years as a professional health coach, and I've adopted a lot of disciplinary, loving actions. Like, I'll forego caffeine if I notice that it's taking me over. And these are very scientific ways to care for the body. And throughout my spiritual journey, I learned that abstaining from things that are not good for the body has a massive impact on the spiritual journey. Because if our body is sick and heavy, so is our mind, and our spiritual journey is very densified. So this year, in observance of Lent, originally, and just in a nutshell version, I said I was going to cut out cussing as one of my things. I'm also fasting for most of the day except for dinner. But I had said I was going to cut out cussing, and I don't have a trucker mouth, but it does slip sometimes when I'm trying to be humorous or I'm impassioned somehow. And so I'm embracing this opportunity to make it part of my spiritual, reverent observance to eliminate words that essentially clutter up me as a channel for God's words. And I'm circling back to those foundational principles that were given to me early on in my spiritual development. Is it true? Is it helpful? And is it beautiful? When I got sober and went to AA, this was my first spiritual awakening. And it was very powerful and very tangible. And since then, of course, we continue to have awakenings. Some of them more profound, some of them a bit more comfortable. But here I find myself once again at a pretty profound, though slow moving spiritual awakening. And life is asking new things of me, and God is asking new things of me. My core is rattled, right? It's shaken up. My core is shaken up, and I have the opportunity to redefine my core values. And I'm checking back in with this one. It was very God-led. I felt it in my heart. The question, how am I relating to my inner self? Come here, bud. What's the health of my thoughts? Yeah, don't knock that over. And how am I relating to other people when I communicate? How am I speaking to my daughter or my loved ones? And I came out for a hike with my daughter and my dog. And just as I was walking, I turned up the focus on this inquiry about my thoughts and what I'm saying. Is it helpful? Is it true? And is it beautiful? And my daughter, with all of her infinite wisdom, comes in and says, well, sometimes you just can't do all of those. And she's very right. Sometimes the truth doesn't feel beautiful or helpful to other people. And one time I was told this story that helped me out big time in life. It changed the way I saw the world and my life. And I found out many years later that it wasn't their story. They just adopted it and made it their own. And so it wasn't entirely true. But it was so very beautiful and helpful. But it's important to at least give it a shot. Just check in with ourselves. This is me taking a personal inventory. And this has been really helpful for me in that it's helped my thoughts to be more comfortable. It eliminates the need to be right or to sound smart or to even be understood. Because if I can check my thoughts and my words, my actions too, at the gate with these 3 checkpoints, is it true? Is it honest? Is it helpful? Is it at least not harmful? And is it beautiful? And once I do that, and I can give a firm yes, my conscience is clear. And so I don't have to feel right or heard or understood. I don't have to feel like I sound smart or clever. So maybe this will help you. Maybe if you're looking for a way to clean out the interior, and realign and reorient with some beautiful aspects of being human, maybe this will help you. Running your thoughts before you commit to them and before you say them out loud. past the checkpoints. Is it true? Is it helpful? And is it beautiful? I hope this helped you today. Take care.